According to the Wall Street Journal, Netflix are set to stream 2 live boxing events, one headlined by Jake Paul and a second being a PBC show featuring PBC fighters. Now, Netflix are a massive company. They've been very successful and their app technology is very streamlined. It would seem as though they're just testing the waters with live boxing at this stage, but if they do decide to make it a permanent fixture, then that really could be a game changer and it could potentially spell disaster for DAZN, because DAZN's original plan was to be the Netflix of sport, to use the Netflix subscription model and do away with pay-per-views, essentially. But they've found that very difficult and have had to adopt the pay-per-view model after all, and quite frequently as well. If Netflix were able to successfully implement what DAZN failed to do, then they could make DAZN obsolete, at least in the US market and possibly the UK market as well. It's all what ifs at the moment, obviously, but it's a very interesting development. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will argue that what's more likely to happen is that Netflix will start doing pay-per-views as well. And I'm sure that's possible, but if they did that, they wouldn't have a unique selling point for boxing. They'd be just like DAZN or ESPN Plus, whereas if they include all boxing content as part of a subscription, it could become extremely popular very quickly because they already have a massive global subscriber base. If they introduce the option to pay, let's say, an extra $5 or $10 a month to include boxing content, they could be onto a winner, as long as the content is of sufficient quality, obviously. The shoulder programming could also blow anything DAZN or ESPN do out of the water, potentially, because Netflix already specialize in making documentaries and fly-on-the-wall type programs, At Home with the Furies being a recent example. Presumably, Al Heyman would prefer to do a long-term deal with Netflix or even Amazon Prime rather than DAZN, because he wouldn't want to play second fiddle to Matchroom. Matchroom are currently the #1 promoter on DAZN. They put on the most shows and have the biggest budget. DAZN prioritize them. If DAZN aren't prepared to give PBC the same status and a similar budget, would Al Heyman be willing to do a deal with them? It's an open question. Now, if Amazon and Netflix don't offer him anything better, then he might have to. But ideally, I have to imagine he'd prefer to sign with a different broadcaster where he gets to be the top priority. Interesting possibilities. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments section.